We are coming to you live from $1 Million Studios. Your boys, Speez,
a.k.a. the White Problem.
And the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines.
That would make me the Black Solution.
Speez and the Benchmark Show on a Monday night, November the 19th, 2018. We thank you so much for being with us. Everybody here on Periscope and over on the YouTubes. We hope you will consider sharing the program. Do us a favor, share the program. All your Twitter
Just
people.
like our friends Babaruski did. And Mac Diesel.
And all you guys that are with us.
And all you guys.
Share it out to all your followers so we get some more folks in here to check out the show and keep those super hearts coming. We always appreciate that. And if you want to chip into the cause, you can also do so at the tip jar, tinyurl.com/SB-tipjar. Live from $1 Million Studios. I love it. I love it. See, it's one of our things. It's what we do.
Yes.
And, of course, if you want to get in on the conversation tonight, lots to talk about. 832-937-4559 is the number to get in.
That's 832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY. Survivor Series weekend. It was a good weekend. You got
TakeOver was pretty good.
TakeOver Saturday, Survivor Series Sunday. We got Monday Night Raw tonight. So plenty to talk about and a brand new episode of SMARK TEARS.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite, SMARK TEARS. So we'll get to that shortly. Thank you, Get the Tables, for the mad crazy super hearts that you got coming in. We're always appreciative of that, and to Mac Diesel as well. So, Silky Baines, first and foremost, biggest moment for you from this weekend's Survivor Series? Anything that stuck out in particular? From
Survivor the weekend, or just Survivor Series the show?
Let's say the weekend as a whole. Anything in particular that struck you as this is what I'm going to remember from Survivor Series weekend 2018?
Gargano Black.
You think Gargano Black, that was the one?
That was the one. I mean, Wargames was great. It was. I just didn't like the ending. Like, it was too focused on, like, Dunn and Ricochet. But I feel like in this kind of match, you win as a team. So, like, the show shouldn't end. Like, if you watched it, Rowe and Hanson were laid out on the mat, and Dunn and fucking Ricochet are grandstanding on the top of the goddamn cage. It's like, they should have all been standing. Like, it should have been a moment for the whole team, not just those two.
I agree. And those of you in the chat room, chime in as well. All you there on Periscope, let us know what was the biggest moment for you this weekend. Yeah, Kim Abell, and welcome back to you, Kim. And Raven's Blood as well. Kim says Velveteen Dream. Yeah, Dream was amazing, as usual. Both pay-per-views were really good. What's there to SMARK Tear about? Well, you'll find out soon enough, because there's always something to SMARK Tear about, as you'll see.
The internet is a great, great thing.
Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. And I got news today, Silky. I haven't even told Silky this news, so this is breaking news for all of you. Hello to you, Brooke, over on the YouTubes there. The first ever Speez and the Benchmark merch will be ready tomorrow for pickup. So coming next week, and we're going to be off on Thursday, gang. We're not going to be here live on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to watch a show during Thanksgiving. You guys probably got better things to be doing. You should want to spend time with your family. We want to spend time with our family.
Unless your family sucks, then I can totally understand that. But
you can go back and watch a replay of the show.
Tough break. Yeah, watch a replay.
Hit us up on Twitter as well. Babaruski said the War Games match was long. I didn't feel like it was so long that it dragged.
I mean, it was long. It was very long, but, I mean, in a good way. Like, I could have done without the whole lock-in, because I don't see the point of locking in Pete Dunne. Yeah. Because they always say, they said it over and over ad nauseum, the match can't start until he gets in. So I get the advantage, but eventually he has to get in.
That's true. That's true. And yes, Mac Diesel, is going to be shirts. We got some shirts coming for you. Thank you, Jeffrey Cross, for the Super Hearts and for sharing the show. Once again, folks, if you haven't done so already, if you would, share the program out to all your followers. We want to try to get as many folks in here as we can. So we'll get to all that. Oh, thank you, Tana, already on the YouTubes. I'm getting some apologies for the revival tonight. We're going to get into that in a little bit, too. That fucking disaster.
That was hilarious. It made my night.
It was not hilarious.
That might have been the best night of the night.
Yeah, well, just so you know, this is the effect that Silky Baines has on my family. My son, the prodigal son, David Spizak, who sat in for Silky Baines before here on the program, grabbed his cell phone and started recording me watching the revival match just in case they lost, which of course they did.
Which was a good chance. They were.
So we're going to be bringing you those highlights later on as well, or those lowlights, as the case may be.
Oh, it was great.
It was bad. You think Joe ever becomes WWE champion? It certainly doesn't look like it because Joe does a whole lot of fuck all when it comes to pay-per-views, which is
he got the revival treatment at Survivor Series. Like, what the fuck?
He certainly did.
He kicked, and I really called that was going to happen to the revival, and then they end up being the last team on Raw. I mean, that's a good thing. So big ups to your team for that. I mean, they were literally the only Raw team that didn't win.
Yeah.
Like, of all the Raw swept, except for that match.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
It was because of the revival.
Appreciate that. But that didn't matter because, as we found out during the course of the show, the tag team match didn't fucking matter, which...
Yeah.
More stupidity there. It was 3-on-2, says Take the Bump, and that's fair. Lit Mantis says Revival still getting punished for using the phrase pro wrestlers instead of sports entertainers, I suppose. So... And JT's watching Survivor Series now. Yeah, you'll get more entertainment out of this. Actually, it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
It was not bad.
It was not bad. So we'll get to that shortly, but we know what everybody's waiting for.
Let's just go ahead and get to it.
Let's just go ahead and get to
it
because...
My favorite time of month because, it comes...
It sounds very awkward when you put it that way.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to dig myself out of it, so I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
SMARK TEARS, people.
SMARK TEARS. You know what it is. Everybody's got an opinion. They all want to share it. Most of them are terrible. Some of them are downright hilarious. And we've gathered them all for you, the worst of the worst. Here they are, folks, in a special Survivor Series edition of SMARK TEARS. Here we go, everybody. SMARK TEARS, the Survivor Series edition. Silky Baines, you're up first, sir.
How do you manage to get eliminated at Survivor Series when you're simple as don't even work for the company? Enzo Amore.
Yeah, we'll get to that clown in a minute here for all of his shenanigans at the show. Announcer, weighing in at 210 pounds, Daniel Bryan. Heyman, weighing in at 265, Brock Lesnar. Cole, nearly a 100-pound weight difference here. Remind me to never let Michael Cole be an anesthesiologist. Hashtag Survivor Series. Yeah, Michael, not so good at the maths there.
Eat a dick, Cole. Hashtag Survivor Series.
No love for Michael Cole
love that
at
one.
all. It's just no love for him whatsoever. That's not good. The WWE commentators make the sport feel like it's for fucking pussies. Embrace them killing each other, fuckers. They're just all over the announcers this time.
I know.
What's up with that?
Big Show looks like a giant penis with hair. Wow.
There's something about us white guys when we shave our heads. All of a sudden, everybody got
you either look like Klansmen or dicks.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
no in between.
Exactly. Baron Corbin used to look like a 12-year-old with a 50-year-old's receding hairline. Now he just looks like a penis.
See?
There it
Told
is again.
You. Klansmen or dick.
There it is again. Oh, jeez.
Survivor Series. I need to start watching wrestling on mute because these fans are fucking idiots.
There were some pretty awkward fan reactions this weekend.
It really was.
Michael Cole went to the Scott Steiner School for Matt, says Ravens Blood. That's excellent. Someone put a cock in that one guy's mouth trying to get a boring chant going. Fat four-eyed cocksucker.
Wow.
So we're hating on all the fans this year.
I mean,
well.
I guess that's a sign that the pay-per-view was really good because they're really not touching on much of what's happening in the ring.
Yeah, they're actually getting on the fans. It's coming.
I suppose. I don't see these. I like to be surprised with you guys.
Indeed. Thank you, Lit Mantis, for the Super Hearts there. All right, on we go.
I really hope none of these McMahon grandkids get into the wrestling business. Fuck, putting up with that family and storylines when it's 2050 and they hold all the fucking titles.
And no, before anybody asks, I did not tweet that one.
That sounds like some shit. Let me find out you got a secret account.
That's my burner account, exactly. Dear WWE, if pre-show matches don't count, why even bother having them? Some of us gullible sumbitches sat through 2 hours of drivel for a Survivor Series match that didn't even fucking count. Fuck you.
That's great.
Why did they do that? I don't even know.
I don't understand. It's like they're quickly like that didn't count. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah, that's not good.
Charlotte is a pussy. The city and the person. Hashtag Survivor Series. Wow.
What is wrong with Charlotte, North Carolina? It's a lovely town. Any of you watching from Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
It's very nice.
It's better than Oklahoma, but then, anything's better.
That's a low bar that you're setting.
Yeah.
There. Why the fuck is Rhonda still using the same makeup artist? Every single pay-per-view, her eye makeup is fucking horrible.
That is true.
It's hard to disagree.
I think
with
I
that
sent.
one.
Did I send you the text? That was like she looked like she used Bozo the Clown's makeup artist.
That's very.
It's just
bad.
fucking ridiculous.
That's very bad.
Hashtag Survivor Series. Suspend her ass. And this bitch ass hypocritical ass crowd turned on Ronda. Thank you, Charlotte. My ass. Fuck you, Charlotte. Wow.
And somebody else getting on the crowd. They're getting all over the crowd. It's like they forget they're told every single night that this is just entertainment. Exactly, Liv Mantis. You know what's going on. If Bryan ever fights Nakamura, it's just going to be 5 minutes of dick kicks and punches until someone can't answer a standing 10 count or the ref calls for a double X. Nice. I have never seen a double X. Have you ever seen the double X?
I'm thinking he was referring to the X sign.
Yeah, the X like somebody's injured.
Yes, like, so a double X would be, I guess, 1, 2. I don't know.
Have you ever seen both guys get injured and get the X called on them?
I've been in a match where both of us got injured, but, I mean, we finished the match.
Well, that's because you guys are fucking warriors.
First half of that match was like watching a bear fuck a rabbit. Wow. And I'm almost sad because right now I can't really laugh because I'm having.
We're both fighting the head
cold and shit.
That's why you hear me sound like I'm dying over here. Yeah, that would be the Brock Lesnar Daniel Bryan match in case you didn't put 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah.
Very Vince McMahon voice. Okay. We've read the stats and people want matches with more dick stuff.
God. Wow.
Well, I guess Vince does his homework, so you can't blame him.
Kudos for Bryan. Lesnar tattooed with a penis on his chest to confuse people and try to kick him in the dick. I just don't know.
Apparently, he wants people to kick him in the chest and not the penis, so he put a tattoo of a penis on his chest. I guess that's
where you're going.
It's very awkward. Fuck you and your clean sweep Survivor Series. Where the fuck is the emotion? And he could win it for SmackDown. Fuck that. But nice matches. So, hey, good as show. It's another guy that's kind of confused.
Yeah, that's all over the place.
Not really sure about that one.
Hashtag Survivor Series. How do I kindly say this? Fuck you, Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman, Stephanie McMahon, Road Dogg, and anybody who booked Survivor Series. You guys should feel ashamed that NXT can book a better show than the main roster. It's pathetic that you have such a hard arm for Raw.
So much for saying this kindly.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fucks everybody. And finally, Los Angeles can go fuck themselves. The Lakers will never make the postseason again. The Survivor Series. There you have it, folks.
I don't even know.
A special Survivor Series edition.
I don't even know
of
that last one like at all.
Fuck the Lakers. Fuck LA.
Man, fuck LeBron James hairline. Hashtag Survivor Series.
Oh my goodness. 832-937-4559 is the phone number, folks.
832-93 Silky.
It's just SMARK TEARS is so much fun. It's fun because it's ridiculous. And then people just get so worked up about it.
All right, but now that we've talked about SMARK TEARS.
Speaking of people getting worked up about things.
Let's go to the live video.
Let's not.
It's not live.
Why do I have to do that? We already did this once where we had to see video of me melting down about the revival.
Yeah,
and now you have my 14-year-old son recording it.
Let's go. It's shot by our Chris Spizak revival producer, David Spizak, who was right there on the spot when this happened. It was great. Let's go to it.
We don't have to do this.
Go to the fucking video. Go to the fucking video.
Is anybody with me in the chat room?
Nobody's fucking with you.
Silly reaction videos of me.
Nobody.
Okay. Well, Bobaruski says let's. So, we always got to do what Bobaruski wants. All right. For those of you just tuning in, the revival jobbed to the Lucha House Party yet again. And I was none too pleased about it. So here we go. My reaction to the revival and the Lucha House Party. I swear to God, if the revival jobbed to these fucking clowns again. Break his fucking leg, Dawson. He just threw the pinata at him. Bitches. He's standing on the top rope with a pinata. They're throwing a pinata around, and I swear to God, he better fucking miss this. No, 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 no! What the fuck is going on? They're celebrating with a piñata. A bunch of clowns celebrating with a piñata just beat the fucking Revival. Again. I quit. Turn it off. I quit.
Wow. SMARK TEARS. This is like a live action version.
That's not SMARK TEARS. It's not a live action SMARK TEARS.
That's a live action SMARK TEARS.
That is a very fair and unbiased opinion on the horse shit.
Why my man
booking
over here sounding like Cleveland?
No.
I can't believe it keeps happening. It just keeps happening. Time and time again.
I think we should see that again.
No, we're not going to watch it again.
We're going to see it again.
We saw it once, and once was enough. So
I think we should see it. Sorry. Play the fucking video.
We're not playing the video. Son of a bitch. I swear to God, if the Revival jobbed to these fucking clowns again. Break his fucking leg, Dawson. He just threw the piñata at him. Bitches. He's standing on the top rope with a piñata. They're throwing a piñata around, and I swear to God, he better fucking miss this. No. What the fuck is going on? They're celebrating with a piñata. A bunch of clowns celebrating with a piñata just beat the fucking Revival. Again. I quit. Turn it off. I quit.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
I make zero apologies for that reaction. That's a completely appropriate reaction for that bunch of horse shit that goes on Monday Night Raw.
Brooke wants to know, Chris, are you a Trump supporter? SMARK TEARS.
She says that because I talk. Okay, it's guys that bring a fucking piñata down to the ring.
I know.
It's like it's a fucking kid's birthday party, and they're gonna beat the Revival.
Let's go over this. I thought I explained this to you. Your pigment. When you say stuff like that,
my pigment.
It sounds racist.
It
sounds like you
racist.
have a problem with Hispanics.
No, it sounds like I have a problem with horse shit fucking turd ass
tag
teams
you have a problem with
going
Hispanics.
over the
That's all I'm
fucking
saying.
Revival is what I have a problem with.
Sounds
and so do plenty of other people, but they just don't have the balls to say it on their own podcast. I got no problem saying it on my podcast. Thank you, fuck you, bye, says Jim Cornette. Anybody who thinks otherwise.
Yeah.
Thank you, BJ. Lucha owns the Revival. Confidence started high and slowly deteriorated.
Wow. I mean, they were riding that high. Like, do you think the Revival showed up at Raw like, man, we were the last team. You know, who cares? We're the only Raw team that actually lost. We were the last team out of all those teams. This is our push. This is our push. And then they go out there and they fucking lose. They told they have to lose to the Lucha House Party again in a 3-on-2 match. With fucking piñatas.
And Dash Wilder tweeted out, what the fuck are Lucha House rules? Exactly. What kind of shit is that? We're just going to have 3-on-2 match just for the hell of it, you know? Never mind the fact that we were the last Raw team standing, and we put on a hell of a show at Survivor Series. Again, putting on a hell of a show. Getting to the end with the Usos. Who wouldn't want to see that fucking match? I ask you, all of you giving me shit in the chat. Who wouldn't want to see the Revival and the Usos? That would be a brilliant match.
You're getting red, man.
That's what I do. I can't help it.
Just breathe.
It's just because I have sinus shit going on. That's all it is.
Shit. Yeah, that's what it is.
Michael Johnson says Revival back to NXT where they had some respect. Yeah, maybe we should send them back there.
That ship has sailed.
Apparently so. See, Kim, every time the Revival comes on, I always think of you, Speez. And one day you'll get a win. So she closes it out.
Did he get that win? We'd like to think he did.
And
that's going to be on his...
Take the Bump says it perfectly. And I'm with these guys 100%. They love Lucha Libre, hate the fucking Lucha House Party. Don't turn it into a fucking kid's birthday party, is all I'm saying.
And don't let him in and build a wall is what he's saying.
That is not what I'm saying. The tag team is racist stereotype, not Speez. See? Thank you,
I mean, the tag team is completely racist. Like,
it's pretty stupid.
They're one step under the fucking Mexicals coming to the ring on riding lawnmowers.
That's pretty true. Mantis says,
they're one under
shit
that.
Fucking sucks and I hate it, but seeing Speez melt down is too entertaining. I'm glad I'm here for your fucking entertainment, Mantis. God damn it. Bunch of horse shit.
And SMARK to death. Sorry, Speez, love you, but they're not a Revival guy. I mean, they're not a top team. Just give it up.
They're not booked like a top team.
They're not a top team.
Let's be honest about it.
They lost to the fucking B team and the Lucha House Party. Fucking guys with sombreros. Or not sombrero. Well, they probably had sombreros too. I can make those things, though, because of my pigment. I can make those statements.
Okay, that's totally fair.
Yes.
I think the Revival would lose to R-Truth and Carmella at this point. You're probably right, BJ.
Probably would.
Bunch of horse shit.
You know, they're going to bring Nicholas back. Oh, look. Lose to Nicholas and a sock at Mania. I was just thinking before I even read that.
There you go. Yeah, Take the Bump was talking about this earlier. Send the Revival over to Impact.
And, yeah, they'll be world champs there.
There you go. At least they'll fucking win something.
Yeah.
Nobody will see it.
Yeah, nobody will see it. Or if they do watch it, they'll quickly regret it.
Let's not get carried away, Jeffrey Cross, with his I'm starting to believe the Street Profits would crush the Revival.
I'm starting to believe that, too. Come on, you don't like the Street Profits? Why not?
Brooke thinks that I could manage the Revival in WWE.
You probably could. I mean, you guys
it's another bald white guy going in with Scott Dawson, you know, I'll
look the same.
Yeah, I'll just shave the middle of the goatee here and just leave it.
Don't do
know.
that.
You know, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
Revival,
and I managed the Street Profits.
Okay, this is the shit that I put up with on the show. First of all, I put up with Silky training my 14-year-old son to videotape me while I watch my favorite tag team fucking lose. I have to deal with that shit.
I did that.
I get tweets of mushroom clouds and all kinds of other shit when they do lose. And then I come here in the chat room and I get guys like England saying Revival are 2 losses from the bingo hall at an all-you-can-eat buffet night.
He is not wrong about that.
He is wrong.
I feel like
their time will come.
Actually, I wouldn't have done mushroom clouds. I would have done because I have kids and stuff. The Angry Monster from Inside Out.
That's the one that I use.
Black.
Yeah, with the head blown. I use that one all the time. Do you think the Revival envisioned matches with Lucha House Party when they left NXT? I don't think so. I don't think they did. I think they thought, hey, you know what? Maybe WWE might actually take tag team wrestling seriously like they do down here at NXT. And Vince was like, ha, 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 ha. Not really. Not at all. WWE main roster just hates tag teams. That's SMARK TEARS got it right on. It's entirely true. There are 2 tag teams that are worth a shit on the main roster.
Which are?
New Day and New Usos.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did the AOP not fucking lose tonight? Didn't they lose?
They did, I believe. Oh, if we fast forward past that.
What the fuck?
The Bar. They lost to Rubles, though.
Bar, all right.
They lost to Rubles.
Listen to what you're saying.
What? You can come up with fucking Ziggentire and I can't say Rubles?
No, I'm just saying. Rubles is fine, but they lost to Rubles.
They did. I mean, yeah, that's sad.
It's not as bad as losing to Lucha House Party, but it's not great when you're the Raw Tag Team champs.
Or B Team. They did do that, too.
I did know that Vince had never liked tag team wrestling, Lidmantis, but for some reason, I dig the Revival. Because leaving WWE works out terribly for everyone, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's pretty true. So, 832-937-4559 if you want to call and rub in a little bit more of the fact that the Revival got beat. Let's get back to the weekend that was, Silky. So we'll start with some TakeOver. I want to hear everybody's take on TakeOver this weekend. I enjoyed the show as always. TakeOver always puts on a very fine show.
I could have done without the beginning. The Riddle and...
The Matt Riddle squash.
Yeah, of Cassius Ohno.
Is Cassius Ohno a company guy or is Cassius Ohno a company guy?
He is a company guy.
I mean, to go out there and just basically lay down for Matt Riddle, and great debut for Matt Riddle. Well, actually, not his debut, I should say, as he refers to it, but he had a match already. What a great TakeOver debut for him,
I don't think it's really a great debut. I mean, because it was like a few seconds.
Well, it's certainly not a bad debut.
I mean, it's basically one of those he got the one lucky shot in at the very beginning. Like, I think he would have been more over to have, even if they didn't have to go like 20-minute, 30-minute classic, even if they went 5 minutes just competitive to show him coming back from adversity and getting beat down, that would have been a better look for him than anyone. Hell, you could punch me if you catch me in the right place. I'll go down. You know what I mean?
I think it was more just people who haven't seen Matt Riddle before.
And what did that give them? Nothing. That
well,
he could do a fucking
knee? Holy
knee?
shit, who's this guy? He's a fucking badass. He can catch you at any point and knock you cold.
No, it comes off as, oh, this guy could have got lucky. Like, I think he
looks like a badass, and you can catch
he
you
does
and knock
look
you
like,
cold.
that's because you know who he is, though. Like,
that's true. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Matt Riddle, but my point being,
to a casual, someone who does not, I think to someone who does not know who the fuck that is, that wasn't very entertaining, or very like, wow, I can't believe that was awesome. Like,
yeah,
and pretty much you'd have to be like a big Chris Hero or Cassius Ohno mark to even realize the significance of how big it was that he did that to him.
Yeah, I totally agree. And thank you, Smart to Death, asking people to invite your Periscope followers. We appreciate that, all of you joining us. Again, the phone number's right there on the screen if you want to chime in. You know, we used to have like wall-to-wall phone calls, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the line, everybody got nervous about calling the show.
Yeah, call in.
Why don't you quit fucking yelling at people, Silky, and then they call into the show?
I don't fucking yell at people. I only fucking yell at you.
Well, it scares away the people.
No, I think
because you're
like
such an intimidating figure. That's what it is.
Oh, because I'm black? See, you're so fucking racist.
Just don't even go
so
there.
Fucking racist.
I don't even know what
the fuck are you talking about?
It was just ridiculous. Brooks says TakeOver was, as always, badass. Well, they need to work on the women's division there. It's not like it was before. They need to spice it up.
I mean, I think that's what they did with this 2 out of 3 falls and involving Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir and Io Shirai and I guess because for lack of better options, Dakota Kai.
Right.
Even though she did pump kick that bitch in the face.
Which was kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then the moonsault.
Well, we've talked about it on this show before about how, because you and I, if I remember correctly, both had Kairi Sane going over in this match. Did we not?
No, I said Baszler.
Did we both say Baszler? I know we agreed on it, but I couldn't remember which one. I think we did both say Baszler. Mostly because, well, the awkward part of it is, who's next in line as far as the women's division go? We've lamented that on this show. Those of you who've been with us before.
I think it's Io. I think they're doing this. They'll set up some kind of 6-woman thing with Shayna and her group against Io, Kairi, and Dakota, and let that build, and that gets the new girls more work and stuff, and can eventually bridge off to Io versus Shayna,
which I would love to see.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of Io Shirai. I'm not that guy that watched a lot of her before she got over here to the U.S.
It was amazing.
But holy shit, that moonsault of hers. Finally see a moonsault that looks like a moonsault's supposed to look, and she landed it perfectly.
Charlotte does a moonsault pretty. I don't know why you're saying that.
Charlotte doesn't do moonsault pretty.
Yes, she does.
By the way, I got to get to this because Baba Ruski says, "Give me Riddle coming out in a cloud of smoke for his NXT entrance," which is great. He plays the bro weed smoking frat guy just perfectly. Yes, and Raven's Blood says that her moonsault is in fact amazing. Yeah, I'm with you, Brooke. Look, it'd be interesting to see where the women's division goes. I think they got a handful of women who are kind of on the verge of taking that next step. You got to put Bianca Belair there for sure.
Yeah,
Lacey Evans is right there. Lacey Evans. I love Lacey Evans' character. She gets that character.
I like that.
Works the shit out of that character.
Yeah, and
I think she'll be in good shape.
She does even though she's not big, but I like how they give her the punch thing as her finish and call it the women's right.
It's very cool.
I just like the clever wordplay of the finisher.
Yeah, no, and her whole character works.
I mean, it's a punch, but it's still pretty cool. Now, I think honestly, and I might be, in the minority. This was not one of my favorite takeovers.
In the minority?
Of course I'm always in the minority.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Fucking racist.
That's not
anyway,
funny.
But this was not my favorite takeover. Like, I'm not saying
what didn't you like about it? We'll put it that way. Now that's not to say I'm gonna venture to say that you're not saying it was a bad takeover.
No, it's not a bad takeover.
But comparatively speaking,
compared to a lot of the other takeovers, this was not one that really just moved me because like I said, the Riddle thing that was, and taking account, I'm looking at this from like wrestling, from a wrestler's point of view. So it's kind of hard to turn that off, that wrestler brain off when you're watching and just watch as a fan. So from a wrestling point of view, Matt Riddle, I think they fumbled his debut because to me, it would have been more amazing even if you gave him 5-6 minutes to have him have a competitive match and pull out the win.
Right.
Black and Gargano was amazing. That was
Dream and Ciampa was
Dream and Ciampa was good too. And
no
then
slouch either.
like I say, the War Games, like I say, really took it out for shit that what took that match down was like it didn't make sense because one, if you can't start the actual War Games, so this match can't end until everyone gets in, it makes no sense to lock this dude in. You already had a one-man advantage.
They just locking him in so they can kick the shit out of everybody for a while.
But then, and then number two,
one-man advantage.
What really got me is that at the end of it, it was more about, you would have thought that Ricochet and Pete Dunne did this shit all on their own because that's who all they were focused on. And
couple of nice spots from the War Raiders. Yeah, they did.
They all look really good. Like all four of them look great in that match, and I feel like it's kind of a tragedy that they didn't put the War Raiders up there with Dunn and Ricochet as like, whoa, these
we're all standing tall together.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I hear
that. But it was just, I just didn't get into it. Like the matches were good, but. Every takeover has great matches. Oh, the women's match. I totally forgot about that. I did like at first I wasn't feeling it. I did like the end once everyone got involved because, like I say, it's a little bit different than what they have been doing in the women's division. But I've been pretty outspoken about how I have no real desire to see Shayna and Kyrie again.
Yeah.
So I didn't have desire to see it at Evolution.
Not to say they didn't put on a great show because they did.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you're ready for something new. I see where you're going. Let's get to some of these chats because we got a lot of names coming up when we brought up the women's division. What happened to Toni Storm? She wins the tournament and then disappeared. She's training at the center.
She's on NXT.
She's over in NXT UK.
So
we've also got Lacey Evans needs a better finisher. We shall see. Why haven't NXT actually showcased the other two horsewomen? I think it's time if they're signed on. Obviously, they don't think it's time.
Are we talking about Marina and Jessamine? Probably because they've only been signed for a couple months, so they're probably not ready. They're lucky that they're getting that shine to come in under Shayna, but they're probably just not ready right now for a match.
Why were the teams fighting with each other to get out of the shark cages? It's just one of those things where they want to make it look like everybody wants to get in there and start kicking ass.
No, the War Raiders, the story of that, because you notice they had the Undisputed Era because they're a group, they're a unit. They had a plan. Adam Cole, then O'Reilly, then I believe it was Roderick, and then Fish was the last one. Now, on the other side, these are four guys that came together to fight this, so they didn't have a strategy. So that's what they were showing is that every time, it was time to let in, they were fighting because they wanted to get in the fight.
Yeah.
And
well, we kind of saw this the other day when they were having the fight to see who would have the advantage in the War Games match. In other words, who would have the one-man advantage throughout. And they all fought about who was going to do that as well. So kind of sticking with that storyline in a way. So as far as the individual matches go, we'll get to talk about the War Games match a little bit. As far as the two individual matches, I thought Ciampa Velveteen Dream was great.
Yeah.
I thought Gargano Aleister Black was great as well. It's not a lot to complain about with regard to these matches. Aleister Black now, I believe I saw 6-0 or 7-0 on takeovers.
Yeah.
He's just kicking ass. Yeah. So kudos to Aleister Black. He's looking great.
I really think Johnny needed that win to validate his heel turn, and he needed to win in a dirty fashion. But because performances like this, in my opinion, is what got Johnny over as a face. Because he went out there, he gave it his all. He took 2 of those black masks, which I thought was great. How to have him get 2 without punking out the move. Yeah. Is that he hit him and he started to fall forward and he fell on Black.
And then he absolved him of his sins. And
and then he kicked him again. So that finish was great. The whole match was great. But I really think that to move this Johnny Gargano thing into the next level, he should have won, and he should have won dirty, doing something. But they still have time to save it because of this loss, this could make him go even further over the edge. But I think they missed that opportunity.
What do you think of Bob Aruski saying, I can't wait for the I wasn't the real attacker promo? That it was actually somebody else.
It was you. I did it for you.
I thought Candice would interfere and help Johnny win. Yeah, a lot of folks said that as well. Get back to I I keep wanting to say Theodore, but it's Todoro. I'm fucking your name up, whatever it is. Why do they call Ronda, Shayna, and the other two horsewomen? They've accomplished nothing. It's an MMA thing.
It's an MMA.
Certainly not a wrestling thing. You think we see a lot of call-ups tomorrow? Not really. You know, we get the rumors about call-ups every. There was rumors that there were going to be call-ups at this show, and all these people were going to show up.
Looks like Lars has already got the call.
Lars has got the call. He's going to be coming shortly, but that's really all I've heard or seen anything about. So
don't really care.
We shall see. Are we, before we put a bow on TakeOver, move over to Survivor Series, we got to be headed towards Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, yes?
I don't know if I want to see that. Like, I think.
Well, regardless of whether or not you want to see it,
no, but
are we headed in that direction, or do you think we got time before we get to that match?
We have time. I think they have time to, before they get there to do something else. It's just, to me, it's a no-win for Ciampa or Black in that matter.
How so?
It's just because the fans have seen this, and they've also, Black is on this unstoppable roll. And so you basically book yourself into a corner if you book this match, because unless he's going to win it back, I mean, you want to keep this Ciampa train going, in my opinion. So I would not book Black versus Ciampa just yet unless I wanted to take the title off Ciampa. But right now, you got to ride that Ciampa train. And, because this was only, the second TakeOver he's actually defended the title.
That's true.
So
That's true. He had a match against Johnny, and then he had this one. Yeah.
So,
Work High Cat wants to know, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, who would we call up? As far as me personally, the only guy I would consider calling up at this point would be Aleister Black. That's really the only guy. I think it's too early for Velveteen Dream. And when we're talking about the males. Females, I could totally see Shayna Baszler getting called up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have a problem with that at all. Thank you, Alistair Veen, very much for the Super Hearts. We appreciate that.
I could see, I would definitely call up Shayna if I was, or for the women. For the men, I would bring Dream up before Black, because I feel like Dream is going to be a bigger star than Aleister Black.
I think
on the main roster.
I think long term you're right.
Long term on the main roster, he's more bred for that main roster thing than because I think he's more bred for the entertainment side of it.
He definitely isn't Lit Mantis says it perfectly. Honestly, doesn't give a shit about any of the NXT guys besides Velveteen Dream. And I think there are a lot of people, to be fair, and this is not to shit on anybody else, but he's just so charismatic and he's so good at what he does character-wise that there are a lot of people that want to see that on the main roster.
I'm kind of over him. I like the getting in your opponent's head, but now, I don't like cosplaying. He's fucking cosplaying as Hogan for this big match. To me, I feel like that doesn't take it serious, or it doesn't look like he's taking it serious. This is the big opportunity you've been talking about. I would have rathered him have something more kind of like he did he even did it for Cassius Ohno, and they had a cup of coffee to build up their TakeOver match.
Yeah, exactly. And Kim, definitely been hearing about the 4 horsewomen of the MMA against 4 horsewomen in WWE. Could definitely see going in that direction. Raven's Blood says Aleister Black can carry the torch for the Undertaker. That's some big shoes to fill. We shall see. I do like Black's character, and I think it's something that can play on the main roster. There are plenty of guys who come up from NXT, talking to you, Apollo Crews, who don't really have the character quite down yet to get up there and do something in the main roster.
My thing with Black is only going to be successful as the feuds they book him in. Dream will be successful no matter what, I feel. You put him in anything, he's going to make it work. Black is only going to be as relevant as the person they're feuding him with. On the main roster, that is.
And totally fair point by Bobaruski, and this was going to be my follow-up guy. Would not complain in the slightest if Cassius Ohno got called up there. To just be a guy that goes... And a lot of people are talking about, I don't know if he's mentioned this, or if this is just one of those things that's kind of caught fire on the internet about him being a trainer at the Performance Center. Mm-hmm. But he seems totally suited to that type of work. So if that's what he wants to do, more power to him. But if there's a guy that's earned a shot up there, I don't know that Cassius Ohno comes up and does a lot on the main roster. But as far as a guy that I've, just in my opinion as an outsider looking in, a guy that's done his time and earned a shot, earned a look. I think Cassius Ohno is a good guy. Seeing EC3 from a couple of folks.
I never was a big fan of EC3. When
he seems like he'd be better suited on the main roster than he is in NXT, to be honest with you. Just the way that
I think he's good for NXT. It was just unfortunate timing. I mean, when he came in, there was like they signed Ricochet and the War Raiders or War Machine. So like they should have brought him in when it was just him. And then he would have been perceived as a bigger star. But, this mass signing, and I think Keith Lee was in that same signing group.
Lee was not too long after that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just, unfortunately, too many people to share that spotlight with, so it wasn't as big of a deal him coming back, in my opinion. That's
fair. And, hey, I agree. Dream versus Goldust would be a lot of fun. That'd be a good guy for him to come up and meet right off the bat. Goldust is great like that to carry those guys along. One last thing, and we'll move on from TakeOver. What about Nikki Cross? What's going on with Nikki Cross? We saw her in the match.
Didn't she get called up to the main roster?
Well, we did see her in that one match. We haven't seen or heard from her since.
That was like a week ago, though.
No, it wasn't a week ago, was it?
Maybe 2, but shit, I mean...
Is she permanently? Because I haven't heard. I haven't read or heard, and you guys feel free to chime in on the chat room. Is she a permanent main roster member? Was this a one-shot deal where she came up and had the match with Becky Lynch and that was it? What's the deal?
Oh, yeah, it was. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. But still, I mean, I thought they mentioned her as like she's been called up during the pay-per-view when they were talking about Sanity.
Okay, well, perhaps it is. Brooke says she's not that entertained by EC3 either, and some folks aren't feeling it. Let's move on to Survivor Series. Again, if you want to get in on the phone lines, 832-937-4559.
That's 832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY. If you haven't shared the program, we hope you will consider doing that. And if you haven't subscribed to the program, please do that. Subscription numbers are going up. We crossed 200 subscribers on Periscope last week, I believe. And the YouTube numbers are going up as well. So thank you guys very much for that. Again, just a quick programming note. We will not be on live on Thursday night as we usually are, with it being Thanksgiving. We'll spend time with our families, and we hope you will do the same. And we look forward to being back with you next Monday night. So let's move on to Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan end up main eventing the show. A lot of folks think that the women's main event was the showstopper. What was the big story coming out of Survivor Series? You guys in the chat room chime in as well. Biggest story coming out of Survivor Series this year is what?
Raw sweeping SmackDown in all of the matches.
You think that's the biggest story?
I mean, that's what they're trying. That's the narrative they're trying to push.
Well, that's what their narrative is. I'm talking about for you personally.
For me personally.
What was the biggest deal for you once Survivor Series was over?
Probably the Charlotte.
The Charlotte beatdown?
Yeah, just the match. I mean, she carried her through like a 15-minute match that was actually, I thought, pretty good.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. Those of you who are regulars of the program know that I am a regular critic of Ronda Rousey. But I will say this. I was very impressed with Ronda Rousey in the ring this past weekend. I'm not going to be one of those people that says that Charlotte carried her to the match. I'm sure Charlotte had a lot to do with it. But at the same time, Ronda Rousey did a great job. She did a very good job. And I'm trying to think, and help me out, those of you in the chat room. Have you ever seen a female wrestler take a beating like Ronda Rousey took with that fucking kendo stick this past weekend?
In WWE or just in general?
In WWE.
In WWE,
I mean, I was trying to think back because she got fucked up by that kendo stick, and it was bad.
Lita.
Which particular one in mind? Are you just talking about in general? Because
No,
she used to take some pretty hardcore... I know she did some pretty high spots and flying through tables and shit like that.
Match, it was the Hardys and Lita versus the two-man power trip and Stephanie. And at the end of the match, Stone Cold and Triple H beat the shit out of her with chairs. Then Triple H pedigreed her. Then they beat her with some more chairs. And then they got her up and Austin stunned her.
Shit, I don't remember that. That's pretty bad.
She like literally, because she was doing the whole gimmick where they were beating up Matt. And this is when they were dating. So she laid over Matt. And so they just started beating her up and like beat the shit out of her.
Well, so it's got to be
that's
at
up there
least
with that
top couple of beatdowns.
Oh yeah,
and shout out to you, England. England says, "But you are my family." Talking about missing us on Thanksgiving. We'll have something up there for you guys to check out. Looks like everybody's saying Charlotte flipping her shit was the big deal. Becky Ronda was the only match I thought was good. I'm assuming you mean Charlotte Ronda there. Charlotte. Joe getting squashed was a big story to me. Yeah, Samoa Joe cannot seem to get a win on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it's now
he
he's
won
not,
one, I think.
Now he's not.
He won that 5-way that got him the match with Lesnar.
That's right.
The worst pay-per-view. That's how you knew your career was going down. You got your title match at the worst named pay-per-view ever, Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's the Derek Lewis pay-per-view.
The Derek Lewis pay-per-view.
Great Balls of Fire.
Yes, and Take the Bump also pointing out a 70-some-odd-year-old, if not 80-some-odd-year-old Mae Young taking the table bump from off the stage from the Dudley Boys, which is another classic.
But that was like one singular move that still was fucked up. But
yeah, I mean, sure. Listen,
if you're talking about beating, the only beating I've seen that's even comparable to that, besides the Austin thing, happened in Japan when Suzuki beat the shit out of who became Asuka.
I see.
He punched her in the face like she was a dude. Like he beat her up.
Let's talk about this Charlotte thing, because I find it interesting, and I went back because we talk about Negro Damas on the show here because Silky is quite good at making predictions. This was actually a Gringo Damas moment because back in June, I actually tweeted out, and I went to go see if I was having some kind of cognitive dissonance here, or if this actually happened, but I actually tweeted out, I can't wait for the fans to turn on Ronda Rousey. And I said for her being a part-timer because I thought she'd be more of a part-timer. But you just knew it was coming. And sure enough, this past weekend, that fan base completely did a 180 on Ronda Rousey. I mean, completely did a 180 on Ronda Rousey. Nobody was having it. And you got to figure that taking a beating like that, you would think that she would be getting some manner of sympathy from that crowd. I don't know if it's just the LA crowd or the fact that there are a good portion of fans, we've talked about it on this program a lot, that go to WWE events simply to fuck with what's going on and do the exact opposite of what you would expect them to do because they're twats like that. But she got zero sympathy from that fucking crowd. She got the "you deserve it" chant. Yes. She got the Becky chant. She basically got the Charlotte treatment.
Yeah.
When Charlotte got her ass kicked by Becky back at SummerSlam.
That is true.
And this was just a couple months earlier.
Yeah, and I don't understand why. It's probably because I think this match, they shouldn't have booked this match, honestly, because it just exposed Ronda. And I think you put her in the ring with someone as accomplished and as good at this wrestling shit as Charlotte, it just exposed where she lacked. So it made the fans easy to turn on her. And then because now they're seeing, from what they're seeing is that Charlotte's letting her all this, that, you know, it takes away the accomplishments. It's like if I got in the ring with you and everyone who knows me, that when you're starting, if I'm selling for you, they're like, well, you're letting them do that.
Right.
You know how to wrestle. He doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the perception that turned the crowd on Ronda, is that Charlotte went out of her way to like make her look good, and they weren't appreciating that. And the fact that the fans are just, you know, dicks.
Yeah, and
you can't rule that out.
Two-faced fans, just like the Canadian crowds, says Brooke there. Litman hasn't turned on Ronda, and Bob Aruski correctly points out that these fucking bipolar motherfuckers were cheering Ronda again tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a smattering of boos, and you could tell there were some marks trying to get the Becky chant going, and they weren't really, you know, most of the crowd wasn't having it. Shout out to you, Juanito, for the absurd amount of super hearts. We appreciate that, sir.
Not absurd. It was great, though. Greatly appreciated. Now, the weird thing, and I think I pinpointed why Ronda's promos are having the issues that they're having. She's not learning. She's cutting the promo for the audience. I was watching today. She never once looks at the camera. She just walks around, says her deal. When you do that and you're not looking, when you're taping, and we've been through this, when you're taping, what the first thing we tell them? You're working for the audience that's watching.
Goddamn right.
Not the audience that's in attendance.
That's right.
And so when you're walking around, just if I was doing the whole show like this, I know it's kind of hard to hear, but it wouldn't be connect. You feel the connect because I'm looking at the camera as if I'm talking to you.
Exactly right.
And she's not doing that. She just walks around, so it comes off as stage like she's just saying something written versus if she just would take the time, look at the camera when she says whatever she's saying, the fans would start feeling like that's more coming from her. And then I guarantee you, you'll start getting that questions of, well, maybe she's actually saying this. Maybe that's coming from her, not something WWE's writing.
I think Becky saying Ronda was handpicked to be in the WWE didn't help. Yeah, Becky's doing what Becky's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be talking shit. Although I saw Becky going after Chris Jericho today on Twitter, and if there's a guy you don't want to pick a Twitter fight with, it would be Chris Jericho, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes, I do. I just sent Chris one of Ronda's tweets. Hold up.
Oh, yeah, Ronda's coming strong on the tweets. Listen,
not strong at all. Well, it makes no fucking sense.
I didn't think it was that bad, but hold on.
It's bad.
I'm going to chime in with this real quickly. I said this earlier this week. I really do wish that every fucking wrestler on the roster would get off of social media. I mean, there are very few exceptions where people, listen, I'm telling you right now, people, I'm going to say it right now and get the tables beat me to it last night. People are going to sour on Becky Lynch by this time next year. I can almost guarantee you that Becky Lynch is she's going to be a fucking afterthought by this time next year. And
but
nobody
by this
wants
time next year, she'll probably still have main event at WrestleMania. Maybe. It's a possible. Like right now,
and then 6 months later, she'll have fallen back into
6 months later, who
irrelevance
gives a
because
fuck?
these
She
bipolar motherfuckers.
But 6 months later, she ain't gonna give a fuck because she'll be in history. You can't take that away. You can't take away that she was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion.
Totally
and
agree.
You wouldn't take away if she main evented WrestleMania.
I would not take that away. No, my point is, it's all Becky all the time, and we love Becky, and I can't get enough of Becky's tweets. And I see 900 million retweets of everything that Becky Lynch does. I'm getting tired of it already. I'm probably in the minority on it. People are going to sour on that shit real quick. You watch. Man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let's hear this tweet.
Let's hear this Ronda Rousey tweet where I guess this is the kind of enforce where I don't think everything she says is going to come across as written for her because this is the shit she writes. She's replying to, and I don't have the tweet that she's replying to from Becky. She's replying to Becky and Charlotte. Says, "See, that's how we differ. I don't enjoy moping around at home, marinating in penis envy, trying to figure out how to pee my name in the snow like the hashtag millennial man does. The only thing that makes me feel better is defending my title." So, I mean,
the penis envy thing is pretty funny, actually. Referring to herself as the man, penis envy. I get it.
It's not good.
I got to say, I am very, I don't want to say glad to see, but it's interesting to see that I'm not the only one that's getting tired of Becky Lynch's shit already. Lit Mantis is pretty fucking tired of it, he says. And Mac Diesel says, the man, I just don't understand it, but I admit I'm not the smartest guy. Listen, Todoro, or the guy whose name I can't pronounce, is saying people are souring on the Speez. Nobody sours on the Speez, super guy.
Shit, I soured on the Speez long time ago.
I soured on Silky before the fucking show even started, but
man, fuck you.
Anyway, all the time. Ronda's coming for you, Silky, and yes, don't pick on Tama Tonga on Twitter either. It's Smart to Death guys.
Yeah.
As Take the Bump pointed out, Tama Tonga coming back to the Smart to Death guys.
Yeah.
Ronda is lame, says Laneless77. Well, okay. Listen, and I've said it before. I have been very critical of Ronda Rousey. I felt like she got pushed too quickly. I haven't bought into her promos. I don't think they're genuine. I don't think she comes off as genuine.
No, it comes off as like she's reciting lines.
All of that said, I feel like the crowd reaction to Ronda Rousey last night was way off base. I don't understand it. It just, to me, it didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me at all. Brooke says, Silky, question for you. Have you had a manager at some time in your wrestling career? Have you ever had a manager?
I did. It was horrible.
You didn't like it?
I did not like it.
You're a good promo, so you don't really need a manager.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago when I first started, and before I really knew, found my voice and said I had the not stroke, but just enough balls to go up to the bro and hey, this doesn't make sense. I don't want to do this. And it's like they wanted to start a group with me, around me, and give me a manager who he's one of the trainees. He could actually talk, but he couldn't work for shit. And so they gave me a manager and a bodyguard. And then
because you're 6'8", how are you 6'6"?
6'3".
6'3". You look bigger than 6'3".
But so they gave me a bodyguard, a manager, and some lackeys to create this stable to get me a title, and then they put the title on everyone in the stable but me.
That's great.
So yeah,
you're not a fan.
Yeah, I was not a fan, and plus, like I say, they never stopped me from getting one ass whooping, so I didn't see the point of them.
I hear you. Yes, Bizarre One Dave points out from the Get the Tables podcast. You can catch those guys on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Then it's a play on words with Ric Flair. Becky referring to herself as the man. You got to be the man
to beat the man. No, I get that part. I get that.
I think he was just saying that to the other guys in the chat room talking about it. Nobody sours on the Speez. Goddamn right, Raven's blood. Make everyone a villain. Fuck everything. Yeah, that's what I said the other night. Just make everybody a villain.
Marty Skrull style.
Random, but I think you guys need your own Funko Pops. Speez and Silky Funko Pops. Maybe we'll get our own little...
I think we should.
Our own customs made.
Custom, that means something very different in the wrestling world.
Okay, then.
You don't know about the custom
I don't know about
matches?
the custom. Oh, I do know about the custom matches. Yeah.
We ain't doing those kind of custom.
Yeah, we're not going to do those kind. Bobby the Brain Heenan was the greatest manager ever. Yeah, did Russo book that stable that you were in?
You would have thought. You would have thought, but no, he did not.
No, he did not. So, very quickly, let's move on to Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. I enjoyed the shit out of this match. I thought it was great. I thought people were complaining that the beginning of it was boring, but then it picked up and it got better. And I feel like you had to have the beginning where you're kind of rolling your eyes and going, oh, great, it's just going to be another Brock Lesnar squash match. And then all of a sudden, and to Brock Lesnar's credit, and this is why I say fuck all these people who complain about Brock Lesnar, because the fact of the matter is that guy goes out there and sells his ass off for AJ Styles. He sells his ass off
at one point, and
Daniel Bryan.
I meant to pause it so I could send that to you. At one point, he literally had like the sole of Daniel Bryan's boot on his face. Or shoe, I should say, when he did the whole stomp gimmick like he did to AJ. I mean, it was great. And for anyone shitting on this match, this is the very same match he did with AJ. The only difference is instead of missing something so AJ can kind of start getting his shine in, Daniel Bryan went low did heel shit. So
that's right.
Just remember that when you're shitting on how bad this match was really good, and it was, to me, it was just as good as the AJ match.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the same fucking formula, just different ways to get to Daniel Bryan getting on top and making it look like. I thought, honestly, when he hit the first running knee after the dick kick, I thought maybe that was it, and I was gonna be like, wow, because that's what I was looking for. And it looks, I should have known when they gave us that moment with Charlotte that was gonna be the moment, because you generally don't book something like that, which happened with Charlotte, and then book something even bigger. And I think taking all those suplexes, the dick kick, and the winning the match just like he won the title would have overshadowed Charlotte.
Yeah, Take the Bump didn't like it, but it looks like just about everybody else did. Lit Mantis, I know, is a big Brock Lesnar fan. If Brock had all his matches like this, he'd be loved. Totally agree. Bizarre One, thank you for saying that. I love this match. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, the fact of the matter is, for as much shit as Brock Lesnar gets, he does what he's told. He does what he's told at the end of the day. He laid down and got squashed by Goldberg. He sells his ass off for guys that, again, he feels like selling his ass off for. And really, when you talk about the same formula for AJ Styles as he had for Daniel Bryan, look, it's going to be the same formula if he ever fights somebody like Finn Balor.
Yeah, no.
Or if he fights any of those kind of guys. I mean, that's just the way he has to do it.
I mean, because that's the only way to make it believable.
Yeah,
so
because he is such a...
that.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed the shit out of that match. As far as the rest of the thing goes, look, the Survivor Series match,
I think
the second year in a row that Shane McMahon's been the last guy on the SmackDown team.
I mean, at least he didn't win.
Come on. Well, he didn't win last year either. He was the last guy standing last year. But it's just...
Yeah, that's true.
All this McMahon family drama is the reason for the Survivor Series match. Just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Nobody gives a shit about it. Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe you guys give a shit about it. I certainly don't give a shit about it. I don't think you give a ship about it. I don't care to see Stephanie McMahon come out and brag about the fact that they won Survivor Series. Okay, you won Survivor Series. Big fucking deal. Like, what does that even mean? What do you get out of it?
That and 25 cents will get her a cup of coffee.
Pretty much. Who didn't think D-Bry wasn't going to beat Brock after the knee and make Brock tap multiple times? I couldn't agree more. There were more times, and I was rooting for Lesnar. So I'm sitting there going, he better not fucking tap.
I was rooting for Daniel Bryan.
Like, please don't have him tap. Like, let him eat a couple of the flying knees and he can get knocked out, and so be it. But as far as him tapping out, please don't do that. So we got somebody waiting on the phone lines for us, and we were waiting for our notes to come through here, but we're just going to get right to them because that's what we do here on the program. So, caller, you are on with the Speez and the Benchmark. What's going on?
Hey, guys. It's Mac Diesel. How you doing?
Mac Diesel in the house. Wants to thank you for praising Brock Lesnar. See, Mac Diesel wanted to give us some props here. What's going on, Mac Diesel? How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great. I want to give props for two things. Number one, your SMARK TEARS segment had me in stitches earlier. It was really hilarious.
Can I ask you?
Secondly, I had to call in. I had to call in here because people are always shitting on Brock Lesnar being a part-timer. I was really happy that to hear that you guys praising him because, first of all, he puts on a good show. He has star power. He actually carries himself like a professional wrestler. And finally, every human being on earth, if they were to be given the opportunity to work less for more money, every person on earth would do that very thing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's kind of hypocritical it's hypocritical of all these idiots online that, say, oh, he should work more. Well, why?
Somebody asked if you're calling in using Morse code. I was going to ask you it sounds like you have a piece of paper in a ceiling fan up above you there. You get some static on your phone line there, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Mac. Listen, Brock catches a lot of shit, and the fact of the matter is, when push comes to shove and that guy's asked to go out there and perform, he goes out there and performs, and that's what he does all the time. So, Mac, if you want to call back in, feel free to do so because, again, we're getting some weird kind of static on your phone line there. But thank you very much for calling in and chiming in there. It's funny because people online will have you believe that they don't give a shit about Brock Lesnar. And they hate Brock Lesnar and fuck Brock Lesnar and all that, this and that. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. When that guy walks out at a live show, every single person in that arena is standing up, got their phones out, and can't wait to see Brock Lesnar.
I mean,
it's a fact.
I will say this, though.
Don't sweat it about the phone, Mac Diesel. We appreciate the phone call, buddy.
I do get what you're saying about he is a draw. But his matches haven't been that great. Up in, like, the Styles match was great. Joe was great. And this
the Roman
one was
matches
great.
were
The Roman matches, they were all right. I mean, they were good.
The WrestleMania match was shit. I didn't really care for that match.
Yeah, but they were good. So it's just but a handful of matches that are actually decent to good is just not too much. I mean, I get they're trying to build them up. I feel like there's other ways instead of just repetitive because it's just like you're hitting the same thing over and over. At some point, it stops being fucking effective. To us as a viewer, I should say that, oh, he's dominating. If Lesnar really fucking dominates, he needs to be hitting them with different, not just like German suplexes and throwing a couple overhead. Like he needs to hit them with a variety of offense.
Yeah.
And just crush people.
Yeah, and he can certainly do it. He's shown that he can do it in the past, and he can certainly do it going forward. So we are getting about to the end of the line here tonight, folks. So we want to thank you guys, all of you, for joining us here on the program. Fantastic viewing crowd here tonight. Yes. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for the Super Hearts, Silky. It was an obscene amount of Super Hearts tonight. You want to shout out everybody who gave us the Super Hearts this evening?
Lit Menace, Juanito, Alistair Fiend, Mac Diesel, Jeff Cross, Anthony, and Smart to Death.
Thank you guys very much for the Super Hearts. We appreciate that. And again, if you want to chip into the show, you can't do so on Periscope, but you want to help us out, tinyurl.com/sbtipjar is where you can drop a few coins in to help the program, and we appreciate that. So, once again, we are off this Thursday for Thanksgiving. Want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all get to spend some time with some loved ones and enjoy some time away from the day-to-day grind. We will be doing the same. And we will see you back here on Monday night, the 26th of November, with Speez and the Benchmark merch and news about another thing that we got going on. Little fundraiser that I'm going to talk with Silky about in honor of the Christmas season. So we're going to chat about that, and we'll have news for you on Monday. So anything else you got to get out there, Silky, before we say goodnight?
December 1st, I'll be at the Eureka Heights Brewery for the annual Christmas Team Santa versus Team Krampus. And then I'll also be December 8th in Eustis for NTWA. And December 16th, Tugboat Taylor Invitational Tournament. I will be in that.
DZW at DZ Wrestling on Twitter. DZWrestling.com is the website. We will see you guys next Monday night for the Benchmark Silky Baines.
Yo.
Chris Speezak, thank you so much for tuning in. Speez of the Benchmark Show. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody. We will see you next Monday. Have a good night, everybody.
Fuck the Republic.